once again, I'm Luann Lee, and welcome to Monster Wars. The U.S. Hot Rod Association has put together some of the wildest action on television, and this week's competition should prove to be no different. We'll be heading out to Louisville, home of the Kentucky Derby. But this ain't no run for the roses today. Check out some real horsepower as these monster machines shake, rattle, and roll. Two trucks who really know how to shake up the crowd are our #1 and 2 trucks in the Monster Wars point standings, Gravedigger and Bearfoot. Bearfoot has been doing all he can to rattle Gravedigger and roll past him in the standings. Only 21 points separate the two front runners. The battleground today is the Louisville Motor Speedway. It's one of the most brutal tracks on the circuit. Last year, Gravedigger met his demise in a painful fashion after crashing into the wall. His 3 broken ribs have since healed, but the big question on everyone's mind is whether Dennis Anderson is still haunted by last year's accident. To fill us in on the dangers awaiting all the monster machines, let's send it down to my devilish co-host, Jim Davidson.
This promises to be the most exciting monster truck competition ever. If history has a way of repeating itself, look for the Monster Warriors to fall victim to what many call the toughest track on the circuit. It's a 2-jump figure-8 asphalt speedway the drivers refer to as Satan's Circle. It has a way of keeping the fans on the edge of their seats and the drivers back in the pits saying all their prayers. That's where I'll be throughout to bring you all the action behind the scenes, and out on the track will be Kentucky's very own Joe Lowe.
Jim, this track is normally reserved for the stock cars you see leaving the track. And why are they leaving? Because we have to make room for the monsters. And the first monster out is Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger, the truck that's leading the pack on the U.S. Hot Rod Association Point Series. His competition, the most expensive truck built to date, Jack Willman's Taurus. And can Taurus take out Gravedigger in round #1? We'll find out.
All right, boys and girls, I want to thank you for inviting me into your homes today. I know you're excited. I know you got high expectations. I know you love Monster Wars. It's time to hop up off your little saddles, turn your televisions up as loud as they'll go, hide the remote, throw open your windows, wake up your neighbors, gather up your friends, family, pets, and huddle around the TV. Just one thing I got to know. Just one thing. Do you want your old buddy Taurus to dust off Gravedigger? I hear ya. I hear ya, my friends. Digger, you're going down.
2 tough competitors face each other for race 1 of round #1 as they line up Gravedigger and Taurus. Dennis Anderson took Gravedigger to 5th in qualifying. Jack Willman Jr. took Taurus to a disappointing 10th. He had problems. The monsters are staged and we're up in the cab of Digger.
All right, here we go. Another day, another round at the Louisville Motor Speedway Figure 8 race.
These 2 trucks have been on the track against each other 5 times this year, with Gravedigger winning 4 of those 5. And now Dennis Anderson waits for the green light. He gets it. Going for a ride in Digger. On the outside, Gravedigger has to catch up to Taurus. He has a further way to go. Dennis Anderson comes very, very close. Taurus has to go to the inside. Digger over the cars first. A commanding lead for Digger. He's cutting it A little smoke comes out, but no problem as Gravedigger comes up and around. More smoke, and yes, he does got it too close and spins out. Digger spins out, and Taurus, although he's not running very well, gets a win. Taurus has problems through the entire race, but Dennis Anderson cuts it too close, spins out, and that's it for Digger. Taurus wins the race in Louisville. A very disappointed Dennis Anderson aboard the Gravedigger.
Yeah! The Digger choked. That's it. It's no more Digger. Denied, denounced, deboned, detached, deceased, destroyed, and departed. It was a delight.
Dennis Anderson was in command, but then something happened. Smoke out of the side of the engine. He cuts it too close, and he spins out.
Dennis, I'm sure not what you expected, but what happened out there?
Well, you know, the first part of the race there was going just like I wanted to. I was really laying down a good run. Came into that last turn. I thought maybe the track was a little greasy. The heat is up today, so I felt like the truck was going to be a little slippery. But I busted one of my heads, and it was pumping antifreeze out on the tire. And it started making the truck give away, and I just spun out in that last turn and lost the race.
Tough break for Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. Our next matchup features a truck from very close to Kentucky, the Equalizer.
Well, I'm feeling the urge to ascend, to transcend the self and step forward and stake claim to my one true destiny. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will stand in the way of my noble quest. Yeah.
Welcome back to the longest monster truck course in the country, Louisville Motor Speedway's Figure 8 course. The matchup between Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter aboard, and David Morris in the Equalizer. 3 times these trucks have met this season. Carolina Crusher has not been able to take out the Equalizer one time.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up, we're fitting to go.
This may be the time for him. Equalizer is using a backup engine for this race, and Carolina Crusher is quick out of the box. Toe-to-toe, they go around the turn. Equalizer with a slight lead, but he's on the inside. He has to go a shorter distance. Bouncing all over the course, they go over the cars, and now it's Carolina Crusher's turn on the inside. Equalizer takes a little wobble, goes wide. Carolina Crusher hangs in there. Crusher cannot hold on to the lead as Equalizer is catching up to him. As they come around to the finish line, who's it gonna be? Carolina Crusher! For the first time this season, Carolina Crusher defeats the Equalizer. It was very close going over the cars the first time, but then the final circle of this Figure 8 course, and Equalizer is on the outside. He has a much longer distance to go, and it looks as though he's going to catch up, and then starts to fade. Carolina Crusher takes full advantage of it and goes for the win. For the first time this season, Crusher takes out Equalizer.
I feel the urge to ascend. I feel the urge to transcend thyself. Somebody forgot to tell you that we're racing here. We're racing now. It was a tight race, but the Crusher always finishes top.
The Monsters line up. This will be a Ford-Chevy matchup, with First Blood going against Fred Shafer and Bearfoot. Bearfoot qualified 4th. First Blood, Rob Fuchs aboard, qualified 9th. The points are very, very close this year. If Bearfoot can have a good day, given the problems that Gravedigger had earlier, he may overtake Gravedigger in point standings today. On the start, First Blood with a hole shot. Bearfoot battles back, going into the turn. First Blood cuts it very, very close. Bearfoot has to battle from behind as they come around and head for the cars for the first time. It's First Blood in the lead. Bearfoot battling back. They go over the cars. Both bobble just a little bit. And now First Blood's on the outside. Cuts it very, very tight. Look out! Oh, he hit Bearfoot! First Blood hit Bearfoot! The world champ holds on! Can he make it? Can he keep running? Yes! Bearfoot wins it! First Blood hit him, and Bearfoot still held on to take the win. An incredible race. Your winner's Bearfoot. A tough break for First Blood.
rooftop around turn 2. Just a little taste of things to come in the semifinals, my friend. Watch your back, because next time, you're mine.
First Blood crossed the line and hit Bearfoot. Jim Davidson's with First Blood's Rob Fuchs.
Rob, there's a whole lot of bumping going on out there.
Yeah, there sure was. Fred and I kind of hit out there.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't real. Was it a little bit as though you thought he was coming into your lane?
I don't know who actually was in whose lane. My front tire hit his back tire, and there was really no damage done on our wheels a little bit. That's about it.
Okay, make the call. Intentional or unintentional?
I'd have to say unintentional.
And I'd have to say, let the show begin as Invader pulls up to the line. His competition will be Alan Pezo driving Predator.
Invader, I'm a little curious about something. Maybe you can help me out. Exactly what is your mission on Earth, huh? Because as far as I can see, it's to experience the sensation of losing.
My mission in this wasteland that you call home, Predator, is to study your primitive civilization's barbaric rituals and to establish my superiority and exploit your compulsive anxieties and delusions of conquest.
One more time for my good ear.
I have traveled 1 billion light years to kick your butt!
X marks the spot here at Louisville Motor Speedway where these two monsters will start. Invader, Ray Piorkowski, first in qualifying today. And Predator, Alan Pezo aboard, qualified 6th. Now, you've heard me talk about this X. As you can see, the X is very, very wide here at Louisville Motor Speedway, about 2 feet wide. And that's the starting line. Now, with a 2-foot wide starting line and a close race, it's very important to line up as close to the end of that X as possible. On the start, Predator with a hole shot. Invader, the fastest qualifying, battling back. But now remember, he's on the outside. He goes a lot further on the outside. Now things change with Predator on the outside, Invader on the inside. Invader takes a bad hop. He's all over the track. Predator is going strong. Invader's battling back. Predator opens it up now. Can he hold on in this turn? Look at Invader go! Look at Invader go! A very close matchup. A very close matchup. Predator wins by 0.03 of a second. Nobody can say these two trucks were not giving it their all. Invader and Predator over the cars. Invader takes a bad hop. Predator takes advantage of it. Then going around the final turn, they almost meet. The tires almost touch. As they come across the finish line, Predator comes from behind. 0.03 of a second to win, Predator.
You traveled 1 billion light years for that? Come on, you got a thing or two to learn about primitive civilization, don't you, Invader?
Round number 1, race number 5, the 5th and final race. The matchup between Mark Bendler and Kodiak, qualified 2nd today, and Wayne Smozanek driving Tropical Thunder. He qualified 7th. Kodiak is just running extremely well. As the two line up, we wait for a thumbs up. The officials get out of the way. The green light, and it's showtime. Tropical Thunder with a hole shot. Kodiak has problems. Tropical Thunder on the inside lane, and he opens up a nice lead. Look at this. Kodiak is spinning out. Kodiak goes out of control and slips around. Tropical Thunder, all he's got to do now is hold on. But what's happened to Thunder? What happened to Thunder? The fire under Thunder is gone. And here comes Kodiak. Thunder is dead on the track, and Kodiak takes advantage of that. Kodiak comes from a spin out, and it looks as though he's going to a win. And what happened to Tropical Thunder? Kodiak with a very easy win. And Tropical Thunder limps home. It looks as though he lost the front drive shaft. And earlier driving problems did not keep Kodiak from registering a win. Tropical Thunder had this thing sewn up. The truck was running strong. The driver had everything under control. And then over the first set of cars, something happened. I think he lost the drive shaft. It was all Kodiak from then on out. That's it for round number 1 here at Louisville.
Bachelor number 1, could you please look at bachelor number 3 and describe his physical appearance for me?
You know how they say after a while people start to look like their pets? Well, you'd have to feel sorry for this guy's pet.
Okay, bachelor number 3, could you describe bachelor number 1 for me?
Well, you know what they say about, look what the cat dragged in. I finally see what they mean. Anyway, he'd make a great date for Halloween.
Round 1 is over, and that means we're set to track the trend and see who will make the turn into round 2. The fastest time was clocked in by Carolina Crusher. He managed to cross the finish line 2.5 seconds faster than any of our other winning trucks. Remember, all the winners from round 1 automatically advance on today's show. Equalizer recorded the second fastest time overall, but unfortunately, it was against the Crusher. The good news for Equalizer is that the U.S. Hot Rod Association rules dictate the 3 fastest losers continue on to round 2. So Equalizer, Invader, and First Blood get to move on. Earlier, we saw Kodiak get off to a rough start before pulling out a victory over Tropical Thunder. Kodiak is owned and operated by the husband and wife team of Mark and Carrie Bendler. They hail from Eagle, Wisconsin, and that's where Jim Davidson filed this week's Monster Profile on Kodiak at Home.
Eagle's a small town. It's only about 1,200 people out here. Everybody knows everybody wherever you go, and it's nice living in a small town and coming back home, and you don't have the hustle and bustle of the city. When I'm not racing or out on the road, it's fun just to come home and do some cooking out with the family and spend time with Ryan, my wife Carrie.
With on or off the road, for Wisconsin-based Mark Bendler, driver of the Kodiak, it's always a family affair.
It just makes it that much more enjoyable, and it makes it that easier to work on this stuff if you got somebody backing you and helping you through these tough times.
In monster truck terms, that usually means having to spend big dinero on parts that go crunch.
I would say an average weekend, if you can get by under $500 worth of damage, you're doing pretty good. Unfortunately for us in the past, it's been pretty expensive weekends. There's been $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 weekends, and that definitely hurts the pocketbook.
But, like a true competitor, Mark always returns to race another day. Meanwhile, back at the shop, Mark and Ryan feverishly work around the clock to get Kodiak ready for the next challenge.
My son Ryan, he's 2.5, and it's amazing that he knows the difference between screwdrivers and vice grips and the different wrench sizes and everything.
Okay, Ryan, let's test you. Give me the 9/16. Thank you.
But Mark, the wife, the kid, everybody working for you, what does it all mean?
When you're sitting in the truck and you're about to leave the line, and you got that steering wheel clutched in your hand hard, you jam the throttle down, you can feel the truck pin you back in the seat, and it feels like you got 1,500 horsepower just running right through the palm of your hand. All of a sudden, you'll just hit them cars, and you'll be sailing through the air, and the whole thing will be just a feeling of weightlessness. And next thing you know, you're coming down for a landing, and you're across the finish line.
Mark's most memorable moment was back in 1989 when he pulled the monster truck upset of the year by defeating Bigfoot. Now the question is, can he get past First Blood?
Kodiak! One wrong move out of you, and you'll be lying in front of someone's fireplace!
They're lined up, thumbs up from Rob Fuchs aboard First Blood as he goes against Kodiak. Full fire suit, 5-point safety hitch on the start. Kodiak has problems. First Blood comes out with a hole shot, and this guy is racing. Look at First Blood go. This is not the First Blood we saw in round number 1 as he lost to Bearfoot. trying to avenge that one and doing a darn good job of it. Kodiak is nowhere to be seen as First Blood comes around the final turn. He is heading home. The big red Ford takes the win over the finish line. It's all First Blood and Rob Fuchs. And Kodiak limps across. He spun out on the line. First Blood wins in round number 2. He's in the semifinals.
What happened, Kodiak? Fall asleep? Next time, just call in sick instead of wasting my time with such a pathetic performance. Bearfoot, you're next.
Kodiak spun out on the line, and it was all First Blood. Notice the landing these trucks are making here in Louisville. They're not landing on soft dirt. It's hard asphalt. Jim Davidson has that story.
Besides all the tweaking and the last-minute adjustments that go on when these guys get down on the track, there's one major decision to be made here when they come to Louisville. This is an asphalt track. What they'll do is they'll rotate these tires, take the tires from the right side, put them on the left, and vice versa, which will reverse the treads. Normally, these treads are set up so that they're digging in the dirt to get some traction, but right now, all they want is more tire surface on top of this asphalt.
The tire's 5.5 feet tall. The driver almost 12 feet high as Alan Pezo brings Predator out when Monster Wars returns.
Midnight, I'm prepared for a cat fight. I will moon Equalizer when he sees my rear end. Hey, cats, it's showtime. Well, you know, pussycat, I'm at my best when my back is up against the wall. Save your little mind games for another competitor. I love pressure, and there is no escape.
Thumbs up from David Morris in the Equalizer going against Predator. We told you about that X being 2 feet wide. If you notice, Predator actually moved a little bit before he got the green light, but it didn't show up because of the width of that starting line. Equalizer running extremely strong considering the fact this is a backup engine and they didn't expect much out of it. This guy's doing a great job. Predator has to play catch-up now. He's on the inside track, but I don't think anybody can catch Equalizer. David Morris has this thing dialed in. He's got the track figured out. Going into the final turn, it is all Equalizer. A 2-second lead as Equalizer smokes Predator. The replay shows Equalizer with a little wobble. He goes on the inside of the track, but he corrects that. And a very, very tough landing for Predator. That's all she wrote for that truck. Equalizer wins it. He moves on to the semifinals here at Louisville Motor Speedway.
Oh, yeah! The Equalizer has once again survived another test of strength and endurance. But my journey is far from over. Bring on the next pretender!
Our next two competitors come up. We told you this was the toughest course they run all year. It's figure eight. It's a long course. These monster trucks are built for short line racing. Gary Porter up aboard Carolina Crusher. His matchup with Taurus. And the question is, can Crusher take out Taurus?
Taurus! Nothing would give me greater pleasure than to annihilate, decimate, obliterate, and exterminate your third-rate dog and pony show! You're out of here!
Dang! Calm down there, big boy. When's the last time you had your blood pressure checked, partner? Well, I don't know whether I should race you or call 911.
They're lined up side by side, waiting for the green light. On the start, they are dead even. A great start for both trucks, but Taurus smokes. Taurus has some smoke coming out of it, and Carolina Crusher battles. Even though he's on the outside lane, he's keeping up with him. Taurus, where's he going? He cuts it short, and Jack Willman takes it to the infield. Still he hangs on. Still Taurus battles, but a lot of smoke coming out of Taurus. Meanwhile, Carolina Crusher running a great race. He's starting to open up a lead now. Taurus cannot battle back. What's happened to Taurus? Either way, Carolina Crusher wins it. Taurus has a multitude of problems, and your winner, the free-flying Crusher.
Nice try, cowgirl. You were so close, but never ahead. You kept trying and trying. I think I can. I think I can. I think not!
They should put this race in a textbook on how to drive the figure 8 course in Louisville. Carolina Crusher does a great job, and Gary Porter takes it to the win. A lot of you ask, how do you get out of a monster truck? Once you're up inside one, Gary Porter shows us how. You take the steering wheel off, and he'll be in the semifinals when Monster Wars continues.
Bachelor number 3, what's your best pickup line?
Excuse me, but I have a boo-boo stuck in my paw. Can you help me get it out, please?
Aw. Bachelor number 2?
Sweetie, you want to see where my horse bit me?
Bachelor number 1, what's your best pickup line?
Oh. How about, how many drinks do I have to buy you before I start looking good?
Welcome back to Monster Wars as the action continues. Invader and Bearfoot. A very quick start. Both trucks running extremely well. A Ford Dodge matchup. Invader on the inside. Bearfoot's going to have to go some to catch him. Piorkowski doing a super job of driving. Over the cars they go. And now Bearfoot overtakes him. A little bobble for Bearfoot, but he holds on to this asphalt. Invader's in the wall. Invader could not make the turn. He took to the wall. It is all Bearfoot, the world champion, showing us why he is two-time world champion and now heading for a third. Racks up more points and closes the gap between he and Gravedigger. I told you this course was very, very tough. They're landing on asphalt. It's getting slippery because of the heat. Invader could not make the turn. He had a great run going for him, and then he slides into the wall. He has no choice but to shut the thing down and sit and watch Bearfoot as he goes on to victory. And now let's go back to Luann at Monster Control.
The excitement continues to build on Monster Wars. The semifinals are next, and both our semifinal pairings are rematches from round 1. You can bet the revenge factor will be high as First Blood looks for blood against Bearfoot. And Equalizer wants to equalize things with Carolina Crusher. You know, on the track, these trucks and racing teams have the justifiable image of being down and dirty, mean machines. But looks can be deceiving. Under those tons of steel lie hearts of gold.
Awesome and really noisy. Exciting and awfully bumpy.
Like many kids his age, 9-year-old Steven is a big fan of the men that make these mean machines soar.
I've always been wanting to meet a monster truck driver.
But unlike most 9-year-olds, Steven is hospitalized with a serious hip problem that requires major surgery. This Louisville slugger's lifelong dream of seeing monster trucks race in his hometown seems sadly out of reach. Just getting in and out of bed is unbearable.
It's pretty hard to explain how much it hurts, but it really hurts a lot.
Most of the children at the hospital are too sick to make it to the racetrack. So the Invaders Ray Piorkowski and Fred Shafer of Bearfoot decided to take the magic of monster trucks to the kids.
It's a small thing for us to do, you know, to come out here and visit the children, but they love it, you know, the expressions on their face. It's definitely worth it.
Hi, Steven. What are you doing? We're going to leave you some stuff here. We got some stickers, and we got a souvenir yearbook.
When you walk in there and with your uniform on and everything, and they recognize you and they smile, them being in the hospital to make them feel good is why we're here.
What does it feel like to drive a monster truck?
Going into the room and having a kid smile at you, it gives you goosebumps. It makes you feel like you accomplished something.
Can I ride with you?
Well, I'll tell you what, you come to the event and we'll get you in for free. How's that?
Cool.
Huh? We'll see if we can't get you in, and you'll be one of the crew.
Inspired by his idols, Steven faced his therapy with a new determination. His goal, to make it to the Louisville Motor Speedway for a day at the races. It was the most exciting come-from-behind victory the drivers have ever seen.
Well, Stephen did make it to Louisville Motor Speedway to be with us today. In fact, he's an honorary pit crew member for Bearfoot. And he, along with us, will see the semifinals when Monster Wars returns.
Bearfoot, remember me? Remember the terrifying sensation of my hot, fiery breath? Did the hair stand up on your back? Did your heart skip a beat? This time you're not getting away! I'm out for blood!
We have reached the semifinals, and this matchup, a rematch of round number 1 between the world champion Bearfoot and Rob Fuchs' First Blood. First Blood weighing in at 10,000 pounds, Ford-powered, putting out 1,400 horses. The world champion Bearfoot is a Dodge with a Keith Black Hemi-powered 1,500 horses. They're lined up, staged, and ready to go inside First Blood. Rob Fuchs gets the green light. You can see the incredible power as the truck literally leans up. He shifts and now comes around. Where's he going? First Blood is out of there. First Blood's all over the track. He has suspension problems. The entire front linkage gave way, and Bearfoot is taking this one, folks. First Blood tries to battle back, but he can't even stay on the track as the big Dodge is going to take it on to the finals. He backs off a little bit. No sense in destroying your equipment when you don't have to. And Bearfoot, the big Dodge, wins it over First Blood. First Blood has not been able to overtake Bearfoot all year long.
You're gonna pay for this, Bearfoot! Who dares to disturb me?
Pizza delivery.
I didn't order a pizza!
It's a consolation prize from a Mr. Bearfoot.
Any lover special?
It's a vegetarian with garlic, extra garlic.
What? Gah!
Semi-final action really is a rematch of round number 1 again. This matchup between Equalizer and Carolina Crusher. Remember earlier, Carolina Crusher, driven by Gary Porter, defeated Equalizer for the first time this season. Equalizer a little heavier, a little less powered, but equally as strong as Carolina Crusher on a turning course. Can Carolina Crusher make it 2 in a row?
Equalizer! You are the only fool standing between me and the finals. It's a tough world, Iceman. Takes courage to stand up to me. I'm on a roll, and I'm not about to stop for a coward like you. A coward? Coward is not even in my vocabulary. I never back down from a challenge. The road to the finals goes through me, baby. So prepare to be derailed, Crusher!
As we prepare for the semis, let's go inside Crusher and Gary Porter.
All right, let's go get him, boy.
He waits for the green light. Equalizer stage, Crusher stage on the start. Both look good. Equalizer with a slight lead. He's on the inside. He cuts it very, very short. Carolina Crusher battles back. Equalizer takes a bad hop. He's all over the place. And now they go into the set of cars. Where's Equalizer going? His rear end spun around. And Carolina Crusher is on the inside lane. If he can hold on, I think he can take out Equalizer. Side by side, they come into it. Look at Equalizer go. Can he hold on? No! It's all Crusher. Carolina Crusher defeats Equalizer for the second time today. He's in the finals against Bearfoot. Equalizer fell victim to the hard asphalt here at Louisville. A tough bounce. He's all over the track. The rear end almost comes around on him. He's just not used to driving here. And Carolina Crusher, well, all the trucks are running hot. They're using a nice, unique way to cool down Crusher, an ice bag attached to the transmission. He's in the finals. Luann?
It's going to be Carolina Crusher going up against the world champion Bearfoot in today's finals. And you can bet that Bearfoot will be going all out for the win. Valuable points are on the line, and with Gravedigger's early exit in round 1, this is Fred Shafer's chance to take over first place in the Monster Point standings. We'll see what happens right after this.
Bachelor number 2, describe to me your perfect romantic evening.
Well now, darling, it would involve a campfire, some marshmallows, a slide guitar. Oh, why don't we just cut to the chase, darling? I can tell you right now that unless you're into skeletons or fur balls, you're gonna be mighty frustrated if you don't choose me.
Order now, Monster Wars Greatest Hits. This red-hot home video is revved up with the most fantastic flips, crashes, thrills, and spills. It's the biggest, baddest video ever, featuring the roughest, toughest motorsports on Earth. Call now. Exclusive footage never before seen. World record-setting jumps, eye-shocking crashes and smashes. So call now, and we'll rush Monster Wars Greatest Hits home video to you. Call now.
Yay, Crusher! Hell, okay, Bearfoot, welcome to the final 2, and there can only be one #1 winner, and nobody, including my crush sets, remembers #2.
Boo, Bearfoot! Go home! Crusher's #1! Crusher's #1! Crusher's #1!
We have reached the finals, the final showdown, and this is why they call this Monster Wars, folks. These two trucks, Carolina Crusher and Bearfoot, have met 9 times this season. Bearfoot's won 5, Carolina Crusher 4, and Gary Porter would like to even it out right now. The Bearfoot crew stone-faced as they watch Fred Shafer pull up to the line. How did Bearfoot get here? He took out First Blood in round #1, then Invader in #2, and First Blood again in the semis. Carolina Crusher took out Equalizer, then Taurus in round #2, and took out Equalizer again in the semis.
All right, I'm set. Come on, Fred. Let's go. The motor's getting warm. Come on.
Gary Porter says, let's have at it. Fred Shafer is ready. Green light, showtime. Side by side, they're off the line. Bearfoot with a slight lead. They're going into the turn. The world champion has to hold on because he has got Gary Porter right on his tail. Kathy screams for her fiance, Fred Shafer, aboard Bearfoot. She knows how important these points are. And Bearfoot is, in fact, building the lead. A very close race as Carolina Crusher battles to catch up. Crusher and Bearfoot in the finals. Fred Shafer and Carolina Crusher coming home. Over the finish line, it's Bearfoot. Bearfoot wins it. The margin of victory, 1/10 of a second. An incredible win for Bearfoot here in Louisville.
Sorry, girls. I lost.
Look, Cindy, there's a predator.
Man, there's nothing that peeves me off more than losing in the finals. Wait a second. Come to think of it, there's a lot of things that peeves me off. That's one of them.
It's time for the Carolina Crusher Top 10 Pet Peeves. Number 10, Predator gets all the babes. Number 9, Village People Jokes. Number 8, always having to tell people I'm not a professional wrestler. Number 7, Equalizer action figure outselling mine. Number 6, morons who ask if I'm from North Carolina or South Carolina. Number 5, Gravedigger tracks mud into the weight room. Number 4, lead role in Telly Savalas' story never materialized. Number 3, Taurus fat jokes and Predator's feline puns. Number 2, I can't understand a word Invader is saying. And the number 1 pet peeve of the Carolina Crusher, First Blood's always late for welcome wagon luncheons.
Bearfoot, the winner in Louisville, but it was not easy for Fred Shafer. Carolina Crusher gave him a run for his money. In fact, it looked as though Crusher may have had him on the finish, but then Bearfoot sails across the finish line 1/10 of a second quicker. And with that win, he overtakes Gravedigger as #1 in points. Fred Shafer is with Jim Davidson.
Fred, Cassie, a great job in that run, Fred.
Thank you very much.
It went real smooth. Tell me about it.
Well, it was a real close race. I kept looking there and seeing him out of my corner there in that last turn, and I knew that it was lifting on 2 wheels, and I had to go for it anyway, and I just pushed it to the floor.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For 13 straight weeks, Gravedigger held the top spot in the Monster Point standings. But thanks to Bearfoot's win this week, Fred Shafer cruises past Digger to #1 on the charts. Here's how the standings look with only 2 events left in the season. The top 2 trucks are separated by only 15 points. If Bearfoot can hold on to his newfound lead, he would win his 3rd straight World Championship. But Fred Shafer shouldn't start ordering the champagne just yet. All of the other trucks would love to see him take a fall and give someone else a chance as the numero uno monster. You can bet that no matter where they are in the standings, everyone from here on in will be racing extra hard against Bearfoot. This season's bound to have an exciting conclusion. The saga continues next week from Pueblo, Colorado. I'll be there along with Joe Lowe and Jim Davidson. Until then, keep on trucking.
Promotional consideration provided by...
From Eastpak, bags for school, play, travel, and beyond. Every Eastpak backpack comes with a lifetime guarantee only from Eastpak, America's best backpacks. NBA Jam, the ultimate arcade smash, comes home Jam Day, March 4th on major video game systems. From Acclaim.
Lori, let me tell you a little bit about the monster bachelor you've just chosen. Your date is half man, half cat, always on the prowl. Your date can bite the head off a live fish and devour a little Tweety bird with 1 bite. Lori, meet the king of the urban jungle, Predator.
Get me, baby. Ow. Come eat. You hungry? How about some sushi?